Hello my friends, it's time for Ukrainian army to get out from the Bakhmut city as soon as possible because Russia advances every day, and today there are two crucial events that could lead to the Bakhmut encirclement in just a few days. So let me show you the timeline. It was yesterday and it is today. You can see that the majority part of the city is in the gray area or already been captured by the Russian forces as the eastern side of the Bakhmut city. And Russians crossed this river over here before. Ukrainian soldiers blown up the dam over here, and this river became more wider than usual, and it was the natural obstacle for Russian forces, or it's better to say for Wagner forces, and they were unable to cross this river for a very long time. But finally they managed to cross it, and they are now in this cement factory. There are also some of the basements and underground rooms that will help Ukrainian army to resist. But it's the city fights. Urban fighting will lead to heavy losses from both of the sides, and there will be no 1:5 ratio as it was before. So Ukrainian side will also lose lots of the soldiers. So it's time to save the resources and to get out as soon as possible. And the weather now is quite wet. The soil turned to dirt, and you need the time to prepare the convoys for the evacuation of our soldiers, or you may call it retreatment, changing the positions, whatever it may mean. But it may happen the same as in Solidar. In Solidar it was quite late for evacuation, and we lost some of the soldiers who were abandoned for 3 days, but finally most of them managed to leave the Solidar. So here the scale is totally different. It's the city, it's not the town. There are many Ukrainian soldiers still in Bakhmut, and if I was a president, I would obviously order immediate evacuation from the Bakhmut city. I can see, according to this map, there is no other chance for us to keep the Bakhmut under control, and it's better to leave. The only chance, 1% maybe, that Ukraine is planning the counterattack in this area or on the north. So in that case it's better to resist, continue to resist in Bakhmut, and then strike Wagner soldiers from those parts. But the probability of that, I would say for now, is quite low. Plus today Russians not just crossed this river over here, they crossed the Bakhmutka river from the north side. It means that there is no any obstacle for them to continue their attacks on the central part of the city. You can see the central part is already in a gray area. So their next move will be from this direction, and they will try to assault from the north. However, there is also a natural obstacle, one more river, but still they may try to partially encircle our forces in the factory itself. So definitely I give myself around 1% that I am wrong, my friends. So yes, it could be something that I don't know, but I spoke with the soldiers and the situation there is very, very hard. Plus Wagner soldiers advances over here on the north towards Slavyansk. Yes, still far away from Slavyansk, but nevertheless they are going to reach that city. It's their strategic goal. If we go till 2 days ago, you may see that they advanced quite rapidly. But there are also some of the positive news on the front lines for Ukrainian side. And before we go to those news, let me tell you about the partner of my channel. And my friends, now let's go to the positive news for Ukrainian army. Actually, we went on a counterattack today in Zaporizhia region. The operation was conducted towards the Polohi village. Russia has the military base out there, and somehow we missed Dorogozhanka village on the way, so there was no fighting as I understood, but several BTRs together with tanks and infantry went directly to Polohi, and there was the clashes and the fight near to that village. We are in lack of the information whether it was the successful counterattack of Ukrainian army and if we were able to move the front line closer to Polohi. Mostly we have the information from the Russian resources. Some say that our guys were just totally destroyed, demolished over there, but some say that the operation was successful and Russians just ran away from the Polohi village. Well, I would say that the distance from Polohi towards the front line is 10 kilometers, and the fact that we successfully moved those 10 kilometers to reach Russian base is a great achievement. I just hope that it wasn't the suicide mission and our guys returned safely to Ukrainian-controlled territory or called for the backup and now the front line moved over here. Tomorrow we will obtain more information about the case. Russian men again start to receive the military notices to go and serve in the Russian army. Just to remind you, Putin announced the partial mobilization, as they call it, last year, and he haven't cancelled his order. It means that at any moment Russia may hire Russian men to the army again. Also, Russia will hire the newcomers that went for the obligatory service. That term for the young guys is just 1 year, but after 1 year they are forcing young men to sign the contract with the Russian army, and by that they announced that they want to hire 400,000 more soldiers. And if you compare Ukrainian human resource with the Russian one, obviously Russian resource is much more bigger. But the way how Russians deal with their human resource is absolute nonsense. That's why they have severe losses on the front lines and they basically eliminate their own advantage. About the Reaper drone that the United States lost over the Black Sea, I expected some of the real footages from Pentagon that should have been released today. I wasn't able to find those. We have just a computer simulation of what was happening near to the Reaper drone, so it was like a deck under attack, and I think this is the journalist CGI or something. So it could be not real. Plus you see how Sukhoi dumps the fuel. It's not happening like that in real life. So you have quite a narrow stream behind. Then you dump the fuel, and that fuel dumping happened before the collision. So first they try to shut down, let's say, the drone or eliminate the drone using the fuel dumping technique, but it didn't work, so they just collided with their Sukhois to the Reaper. And by the time of the collision there was no fuel dumping. I'm sure about it, because it could create some sort of the fire, so why would you need that in that case? And we have awesome news from the new Ramstein meeting. Ukrainian army will get more air defense systems, more artillery shells, more armored vehicles and tanks, plus some of the countries as Poland and Slovakia will transfer the MiG-29 fighter jets. And Lloyd Austin also commented about the drone. He says that the United States will continue its military missions in the Black Sea or in any kind of the place according to the legal rights of the international law. And this is the map of the Russian defense lines. As you can see, near to Donetsk there are almost no defense lines from the Russian side because they are performing their attack over here. But they built lots of the defense lines near to Melitopol because they are afraid that Ukrainian army might go and reach the Azov Sea over there. And next possible Ukrainian counterattack could be in that area. Some of the American senators from both of the parties asked the military officials to evaluate the question of supporting Ukraine with F-16 fighter jets. And you see, the talks about the fighter jets delivered to Ukraine never stop. It means that someday it will happen. It happened before with HIMARS, it happened before with the tanks, and no one believed that United States and other allies would supply Ukraine with a modern day weaponry. And skeptics always say that you need lots of the time to prepare the personnel for the tanks. You need 1 year to prepare for the tank and 5 years to prepare to fly the fighter jets. But no, it's not like that. And the news from 3 hours ago, Israel approves export license anti-drone systems for Ukraine. It's the first time that Israel officially transfers the military help to Ukrainian side, and it's just the beginning. Probably you remember the story of Alexander Matsuyevsky. He was shot by the Russian soldiers after he said "Glory to Ukraine," and now we have received some of the shocking details about his particular military unit. The information came from one of the Ukrainian independent journalists, Butusov, and according to his resources, those guys were thrown to Soledar without any kind of the backup to the Russian captured positions. It was misunderstanding with their commanders, and they were immediately captured by the Russian forces with almost no fighting. If you ask my opinion, I think that Ukrainian army, even now during the wartime, should be reformed. We still have long tail from the Soviet Union that actually messes up with everything that we have from our Western allies. And we need to cut out that Soviet tail, but with the current defense minister Reznikov and with the corruption scandals around him, I don't think it's possible. I think that Budanov, who is the chief of the military intelligence nowadays, could be the best defense minister during the wartime. And according to statistics, Ukrainian people trust Budanov more compared to Reznikov. And here I want to show you the current situation on the front lines with the soil and with the weather. You can see sun shines very bright, the temperature rose up and the soil went soft. And this track over here, Kirpi, Turkish-made vehicle, just stuck over there and being towed by 4 of the tractors, and they managed to get this vehicle out from the mud. And we have to go across the fields right now because the crucial supply lines are under the Russian artillery fire. So here is just the only way to get out from the Bakhmut city, also under artillery fire, and the vehicles should have some sort of the off-road capability. As you can see on this vehicle, the rubber is not that great for off-road, I might say. Yes, indeed, it's not good. And I'm gonna post this video on my Telegram channel, so please subscribe for me over there. So the single Ukrainian tank went under the cover of the fog together with a drone for the attack on the Russian positions. Quite interesting video, very unique, and we have the Ukrainian flag on top of that tank. This is absolutely unique performance. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine, especially on Bakhmut. And now, if you want to support this channel, just go to my personal link for the Atlas VPN, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $183 per month. It is the best VPN out there. This big deal is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.